So Rassie Erasmus has just named his Springbok squad for the upcoming Rugby Championship. The first two matches up against Australia, and of course forever changing is the Springbok side, but 37 players have been announced here and we will be looking through at them in this video. So jumping straight into it with the forwards in alphabetical order from last name, they are as follows. Ludiaka, we got to see him in action for the matches in July. Did look very strong after quite a long time away from the Springboks environment. Peter Steph-Toy also returning from an injury, but he is still there for this Rugby Championship comp. Jean-Luc Dupré, he keeps his spot in that loose forward trio. Now, some people thought we would see him in their number 8 jersey up against the Georgians. Turns out Kobus Wiese was the man that Rassie did select. Eben Etzebeth, the enforcer, once again in the squad. Vincent Koch, Sia Kolisi, who I believe will be the captain throughout this Rugby Championship, or at least for the games that he is playing in. Wilco Low, Malcolm Marks, Bongi Umbanambi, Franco Moster, Oxnashe, Ruan Nokia, Azanathi Klabakanye, so actually one of the less experienced players that Rassie has selected across the forwards. Now, it was always said that for these first two matches up against Australia, we were going to see a lot more of those experienced heads, the guys with caps under their belts. But Klabakanye, of course, having his debut just the last week, he is a talented player, and hopefully he gets minutes. And at this Rugby Championship, Kwagga Smith, of course, Mr. Impact, still there for coming off the bench. Urge Snyman, same boat for that man. Manus van der Merwe. So the interesting part is Rassie, the 3 men that he selected in the front row up against the Georgians, he is actually reselected for this Rugby Championship side. So that also includes Boan Venter, who got his international cap up against the Georgians, Marco van Staden, Jan-Hendrik Wessels, and also Kobus Wiese. So no Jasper Wiese due to his suspension, no Jean Klein, that was due to an injury, and a couple other exclusions, no Salman Moura, also no Evan Roos. Now, I will mention there is also a list of injury cover guys, and there's a list of about 10, so we will look through at those names as well. But in the backs, it is Kutli Arunsa, Damien Dialendi, who of course will be one of the keys for the Springboks in their backline, just an aggressive ball runner in that 12 jersey and always gives an extremely solid performance, although he has got a man trying to take his jersey from him, and that is Andre Esterhuizen. He too will be in there. Up against the Aussies, Apalele Fasi, Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu. There were a few concerns about that injury that he had before the Georgian test, but he is all right, and he will be playing here. Up against the Wallabies, Ethan Hooker, after an impressive URC season, once again will get the opportunity. Jesse Creel, Cheslin Colby, Villy LaRue. So there were questions whether or not Villy would actually get included in this side now that he's reached his 100 cats, but Rassie sticking with him for that little bit longer. Mani Libok, Kanan Moody, Andre Pollard, Kobus Reinach, Edwell van der Merwe, Morne Vandenberg, Grant Williams, and Damien Willemse. So with that list, there is no Faf de Klerk, which I think is probably one of the biggest surprises that we have seen. But then at the same time, he did take a head knock in that last match up against Georgia, so perhaps he could be added back in later on in the Rugby Championship. But having Grant Williams, Morne Vandenberg, and also Kobus Reinach, they already have quite substantial halfback cover for the Springbok side. No Makazole Mapimpi. Probably one of the more surprising exclusions, definitely with the statement from Rassie saying they'd go with those more experienced options, but obviously Ethan Hooker as well as Edwell van der Merwe getting those young players in the environment, perhaps getting that chance in these contests. But the players who are on standby, there's a little bit of a list. It is Lucanio Arm, Faf de Klerk, Makazole Mapimpi, Salman Moura, Evan Roos, Nedeling Foucher, and also Vincent Dichuka. So pretty much covering each of the positions with about 7 or 8 guys there, just in case. Now, something else that was mentioned, which is very exciting, is the fact that there are 3 Springbok under-20 players training with the squad for this next training period. They will be Klakani, who of course is the big number 7 from the junior box. He just brings the physicality to the under-20s game, so I hope he can do the same thing at international level. Cheswell Euster, who has pure speed out on the wing. Anyone who didn't get the opportunity to watch that man throughout the under-20 World Champs, I highly recommend giving it a look. And also Hasim Peed in that number 9 jersey could be the future option for the Springboks at 9. And perhaps with the fact that he is training with the squad, of course, Faf de Klerk is still in there, but perhaps at some point we'll see a transition and Hassan P could get a big opportunity on the big stage. But nonetheless, that is the Springboks squad. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it is subject to change. We are seeing certain players going in and out due to injuries, and also, like I said, the standby players all ready for the chance as well. But the 2 home games for South Africa, both up against the Australians, the first of which taking place on the 17th of August. But before then, the Springboks, they will have a training camp. They will be getting rearing to go because, of course, the Wallabies still playing rugby with the British and Irish Lions tour still taking place. But let me know what you think of the Springbok squad in the comments down below. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.